Rick Dhaliwal comes out today and says, hearing the Canucks made an offer to Bo Horvat, and I did watch the clip, and it seems like it was one of those final contract offers or like at least significant ones until the trade deadline kind of gets into full swing. And Bo Horvat's camp rejected it. He thinks it came in slightly below $8 million, and the Canucks do not want to go over $8 million for a guy at his age, and he's having over a point per game start, so it even kind of inflates that amount. And LeBron adds to that report and goes, told that the Canucks made Horvat's camp the new contract offer within the last couple of weeks, offer rejected, and now the Canucks are fully focused on the trade market between now and March 3rd trade deadline. So that's the Canucks mindset. Like, it is completely shifted, and now the conversation is the regret to a full, like, I don't know, amount with that JT Miller decision, and now like even more so is like you're trying to sign guys like Kuzmenko next year and all these certain decisions. So Lucas, man, do you believe that Bo Horvat will be traded, Brock Besser, both? What do you like? Again, it's a new updated show here, but
I actually think
this just came out today. This just came out today.
John, I think it's both, man. I think Brock Besser, the writing's on the wall. We talked about that last week. As far as Bo Horvat goes after this deal, like Vancouver's stretching as far as they can given their circumstance, and it's such a shame. Like, for Canucks fans, it's truly a shame because you would have had that extra wiggle room if you didn't sign JT Miller. I don't know how many times we got to say it. Yeah. And JT Miller got 8, right? And Rupe Hintz last week got 8.45 or something like that. So Bo Horvat deserves at least that Rupe Hintz number, if not more. Yeah. In my opinion, the value he brings, the captain he is, the leader he is, all the things that he does on the ice, what he means to the Canucks fans and the community there, being the guy, like we talked about last week, that was here when this project started to get revamped post Sedin's. It's such a shame that they're going to lose this guy. They're going to have to trade him because, like you said, like we were talking about with O'Reilly and Tarasenko, you got to get the value and you got to, obviously more so in this case, but they got to get hard pieces back that fans can at least gravitate towards, because this is going to be sad if they don't get a proper return here.
Yeah, I would agree on the current value. The only thing I'd kind of do a devil's advocate on is just like the longer term value. So him being just a few years older than like a guy like Hintz and guys like Larkin and stuff like that. So just the longer term vision, but it's like they just signed JT Miller to the max. So it's like they really didn't have that vision to begin with. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the situation with Brock Besser, a couple of years left, like they won't get much value back in that. But the Bo Horvat one, they should get major value. Rick Dhaliwal kind of pointed out that they're going to be looking for a draft pick. So I'm assuming a first round pick, a younger defenseman, preferably right shot, and then a younger center. So if you can get that, I think if you're the Canucks, you have to go for it. Try to trade Besser, try to trade Garland, create that flexibility. And there's also been rumors that they've been constantly asking OEL, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, to waive his no movement clause. And that's just not happening because, I mean, if you guys remember, once upon a time, he was getting traded from Arizona. And for some reason, he was strictly saying, I am only going to Boston or Vancouver. Yep. So unless Boston starts calling, I guess that's probably not happening. So one bomb that's been dropped recently is that the Canucks might be buying out 1 or 2 guys this offseason. And those 2 candidates for me are right in my face, OEL and Tyler Myers. So we'll also see on that front. But Thatcher Demko out, Spencer Martin's taking the reins. I mean, there's so many things that have happened with the Canucks that are just so unpredictable and so, I mean, predictable in a Vancouver Canucks way, but unpredictable in a, it's like Demko's been bad. Your captain's about to be gone in a few months potentially. And yeah, I don't even know what's going on.
It's just wild out there, man. Like, did you see there was also the Bruce Boudreau comments a few days back when they asked him at the end of the game, I forget what game it was, but they were asked why he didn't pull the goalie. And he said, I just didn't feel like we were going to score tonight. Like that's how down bad it's getting there, man. It's getting so down bad. Like, jeez. I could not have predicted Vancouver would be in this much of a down bad zone. I really couldn't have. And especially when they're one of the biggest hockey markets and loudest media markets, it just gets worse. Yeah. Fun fact on the Bo Horvat thing, though. I mean, obviously he was traded they acquired that draft pick in the Corey Schneider deal, right? So this Corey Schneider trade will keep going, and we'll see what it turns into if they do deal him.
Yeah, the trade, that'll be interesting. So overall, guys, I do hope everyone watching and listening, you just accept the fact that there's probably going to be 5 or 10 minutes dedicated to the Vancouver Canucks in the coming weeks of the pod, because it's just the reality of the situation. Just some quick hits. I'll just rip through them and then we could talk about a couple other things before we bring on the legend, James Duthie. Chychrun update. He's been unreal since returning from injury. Now the Coyotes are looking for 2 firsts plus a second plus a like it's insane what they're looking for. It's so unrealistic. And the Patrick Kane update. The Blackhawks will be meeting with Patrick Kane and Johnny Toews in the new year to discuss where they're at. And it was on NHL Network. Friedman was talking about it, that his whole mindset was like, sure, because we had Versteeg on. I remember Versteeg was saying that if he was Patrick Kane, he'd want to go to a new team in the season. But the mindset apparently with Patrick Kane is he's wanted to wait, not because he wants that extra like leeway. He just wants to know which teams are good, essentially.
Yeah.
Like he didn't want
a chance.
Yeah, he didn't want to jump into a team at the start of the year and that team be garbage, right? So it's like that's the exact scenario we're seeing with the Rangers right now. Is like maybe he would have been a Ranger at the start of the year, but he's probably looking at the situation now. He's like, like they're very on the borderline. It's like Patrick Kane going to that is not going to jumpstart them to the top of the Metro. So I think for Patrick Kane, Johnny Toews, I would expect one of them to be dealt, but obviously Patty Kane, if he stayed with the Hawks for another couple of years, he could start breaking records. So that part